Joining us this week on the Daily Dose, I have a young man that I can't wait to talk to because this guy has a story, and I think it's a story that needs to be told. You may have seen him a few weeks ago in the broadcast booth as the Colorado Avalanche faced the New York Islanders, but I'm telling you, this kid has an amazing story. You need to hear it. Please join me in welcoming Jackson Stroud to the Daily Dose. Jackson, welcome to the Dose. We are so happy to have you here with us today.
How we doing, brother?
We're doing great, and I'm really, really glad that you joined us. Jackson, you've got a unique story, and I know that it's not a story that you're always happy to tell, but I'm really glad that you joined us because it's a story that I think so many people need to hear. First and foremost, Jackson, where'd you grow up? Where are you from?
Born and raised Arvada, Colorado.
Okay. I know Arvada. You're in that little landlocked area up in Metro Denver area, up against those mountains a little bit. Oh, yeah. Jackson, were you an athlete growing up?
Just played about every sport.
Did you really?
Football, baseball, hockey, just whatever my parents needed me away from the house.
Sure.
Just threw me in, told me to learn, had to play it, but hockey was the one that I fell in love with.
Hockey was the sport. Jackson, you're a big guy.
Oh, yeah.
How tall are you?
6'5" if I stand up with good posture.
6'5" and playing hockey.
Yeah.
What position are you playing? Where are you playing as you're growing up? Are you kind of learning different positions, or are you kind of settling into one? What are you doing?
So started when I was 9 and, wanted to score, wanted the big flashy goals. So started on offense. We actually had a defenseman get hurt when I was 9 years old, and coach was like, all right, you got to fill in, got to take one for the team, and realized that I was pretty good at it, and stuck me there for the rest of the year. And then I actually fell in love with the spot, left defenseman, and I was a righty, so it was perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you stuck with defense. Once you went over to that side, that's where you were at.
Yep.
Were you big as a little kid, or did you grow later, like as a teenager?
No, I was always in the 99th percentile.
Really?
Yeah, I was always pretty big. I hit 6 foot in 7th grade.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I always had, real long reach, and coaches always asked me, got the typical, hey, do you play basketball?
Sure.
Nah, it was always hockey.
It was always hockey. Okay. I got to ask this. Favorite teams growing up, who are the teams that you looked at? Who are the teams that you watched, and who are the athletes that you kind of modeled your game after?
So obviously got to stick with the diehard Avalanche fan.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate that.
Growing up, I actually was the biggest fan of Nicholas Kronwall on the Red Wings. Which I know is pretty,
it's a little
there's a rivalry
bit Antichrist.
There.
Yeah.
It's a little frowned upon, but he's kind of the one, before a game, if you wanted some motivation, you always watched his big hit, his highlight reels, and he wasn't much of a scorer, more just a scrapper. But I based my skating style off of him, and his crossover techniques and skating backwards actually helped me a lot learn how to skate backwards. And there's him. There's not a lot of defensemen really. I feel like, if you play defense, you obviously look at defensemen on the defensive aspect, but if you want to learn how to skate, you always pick out the fastest players.
Sure.
Yeah. So
yeah, that makes sense.
A lot of them, you learn that they're not real choppy skaters. It's all about long strides and figuring out how to use your knees properly. But you don't really base your playing style so much off of singular players. You kind of pick your favorite players, find little things that they do, and add them to your skill set. But
I like that.
Yeah.
Because I know as a basketball player, you did the same thing. You were like, oh, I like kind of the way he passes the ball. I like kind of the way he shoots the ball, but you take a little bit from different guys.
Yep.
You began playing high school eventually at the high school level.
Yep. Yeah. For Rawson Valley.
Jackson, I'm seeing some evidence, and I know you, so I know you might not want to agree. Jackson, I'm seeing some evidence you were pretty good.
Yeah. Traveled to Minnesota for a little bit and did some camps up there, set some records as a 14-year-old in a 16U camp, and made my name loud and proud up there.
Jackson, you're a big kid. You're a fast skater. You're a fast backward skater. I got to think, like, you're generating some interest. Forget the high school level. Like at the collegiate level, there's got to be some schools that are kind of going, hey, this young guy can play.
Yeah. Freshman year, actually, our first game was against Valor Christian, and after the game, me and my defensive partner, we were in the hallway, and the Valor Christian head coach came up and was like, "Hey, man, great game. If you guys are ever, out and about during these certain camps, won't name them.
Right.
He was like, stop by, say hi. I was
Of
like,
course.
all right, it was definitely a hit. He kind of wanted us on the team. I can't lie. But,
Yeah.
I talked to some Notre Dame scouts. I talked to a DU head coach at the time, and yeah, you meet some big names, but yeah, the biggest one was Notre Dame. Had a pretty good ask there. He wanted me to come tour the school, and so.
Well, and you're not talking about small time. You're not talking about, well, here's a D3 school from Connecticut. You're talking about like a really, really good hockey program, a really, really good school, really good academics. Jackson, you're pretty dang good at a really young age. And what year are you in when you suffer a pretty serious injury? What happens? Walk me through that.
So sophomore year of high school, I was 14, turning 15.
Okay.
January 7th, remember the date, 2019, I got hit into the boards, and I remember feeling a very sharp pain in my back. Legs went numb. I was on the ground and managed to push myself back to the bench. Get to the bench.
You went back to the bench. You didn't stay down.
No.
Dude, hockey players are psychos. Okay, continue.
So where the boards kind of lip,
yeah,
where the glass meets, that's right at my hips. And so when I hit that, what it felt like is that, your hips stay in place, but your spine just shifts over. And so then sharp pain goes down. You kind of feel off center. I was losing feeling in my feet and like a little bit of my lower legs, and was able to push myself back to the bench and looked at my coach and was just like, hey man, something's not right.
Yeah.
And, the typical coach question, he's like, well, how you feeling? You want to wait it out? You think you can play?
Sure.
I just looked at it. I said, I can't play. And eventually, you kind of go home and you got that mindset of like, okay, just, another injury.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to see how it feels next day. The pain started radiating towards my hip, the lower right side of my hip.
Okay.
And eventually, just weeks went by, and chiropractors and acupuncture and needles and like whatnot, just trying anything to make this pain go away, but it was just getting worse. Eventually went to the hospital because, obviously there's some worries there.
Yeah.
And they said that I had what looks like stress fractures in my 3 of my vertebrae. It was the T12, T11, T10. And you're kind of sitting there and the doctor's explaining it to you. And he's like, from what it sounded like, from what they were talking about, it's just from me growing so fast.
Okay.
But this was 2 months after the hit. And I thought maybe, like it could have been from the hit or whatnot. And I fully believe that it was from the hit.
Sure.
But, they tell you take 4 to 6 weeks off. And obviously I didn't. But,
so are you like still going to school? Are you involved still with the team, or are you totally out?
I'm totally out. It's kind of hard for me to be by the rink.
Sure.
Yeah. Once it's a game that it's your first love.
Yeah.
With sports, sports can be romantic to some people.
Sure.
And, it's what you want to do and get up and do every day. And, yeah, for me, for the longest time, like just driving past my home rink, like, you get choked up.
Yeah.
But, so the doctor tells you, like, hey, if the pain doesn't get better, obviously come back. So pain's not getting any better. I remember I was at the store with my mom and took a step, kind of weird, and same pain as when I got hit, sharp pain down the leg.
Okay.
Feet go numb. And so we go to the hospital and get an MRI done. Guy walks in and doesn't say anything much, just, hey, you need to go to the main campus, get some blood drawn. And, heart drops. You're like, he's not telling us what he sees, what's wrong. So you're thinking worse the worst. I went to the hospital, got admitted, and they do a biopsy. And there was a mass on my T12 vertebrae. So the best way I can describe it is if you get your hand and if you put your forearm in the middle, if your forearm's a spinal cord,
okay,
your hand's that vertebrae.
Okay.
The tumor was on the inside of the vertebrae pushing on that spinal cord. And, so they get the biopsy, comes back about a couple days later, 2 days later. And, someone sits down with you and is like, hey, you have Ewing sarcoma. It's a bone and tissue cancer. Yeah. So later found out that, if I didn't have stress fractures, or if that shift in my spine didn't happen, like there could have been a possibility that, it was never found. And so it's a blessing in disguise for sure.
Sure.
But um immediately, they say, we have a plan, they ease your head, and we have a plan. This is what we do. This is our protocol. I went through 7 months of inpatient chemotherapy, and I had 25 radiation therapies, and then went through 10 months of remission, and it came back in the same area, had started having that same pain. And I was actually on a camping trip, and I remember waking up one morning and rolling over and feeling it, and just kind of looked at my friends like, hey, we got to go home, and like, I just don't want to be up here anymore. And I think they kind of knew.
Yeah.
But we get back, they do another MRI, looks like it was coming back in the same spot. And at that point, I'm 17 years old.
Okay.
And Ewing sarcoma is a pretty aggressive cancer, to say the least. And at 17 years old, that it's not about, hey, what do you want to do? It's
Sure.
This is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
And go through a surgery. They took my T12 vertebrae out with the tumor.
Okay.
They put a cage with bone graft from my hips, and 4 rods, 18 screws, and yeah, that was the replacement. Went through 19 days of sitting in the hospital, got spinal meningitis, I had 104-degree fever for 8 days, and induced coma, woke up, and I was like, well, when they tell you before surgery, hey, you're going to have this surgery, you're going to walk in the first 24 hours after surgery.
Wow.
And so they're like, your back's going to be sore. So I wake up and my whole body's sore, and I'm like, hey guys, like I was just told my back's going to be sore.
Right.
And I was like, why do I feel like I haven't moved in forever?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, surgery was a week ago. I had no clue. I was delirious the whole time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, not public. Medically induced coma.
Okay.
And once you wake up and just the realization starts settling in, it's like, all right, gotta go, gotta do this, gotta stand up and get recovering.
So when you're going through all these things, are you still in school? I mean, you're a high school kid. Are you still in school? What are you doing? What are you doing as far as school? What are you doing as far as interacting with classmates? Are you doing any of that, or are you just in the hospital?
So initially COVID actually was happening at the same time. So everyone was kind of moving to online school.
Okay.
So initially I was doing online school, and my school thankfully was like, hey, tune in when you can. Like, we're going to work with you. Like, we don't understand what you're going through, but like, we're going to try our best to help you.
Okay.
So eventually they told me, hey, I actually got past, my junior year. They eventually were just like, focus on your health.
Yeah.
Well, so my transcript, just has a P. My GPA is P for passed. I don't have a
You
GPA.
don't have a, yeah.
Nah. I still made it to college, so
Yeah.
but and you have your close knit group of friends, the people that genuinely care. You get a lot of people who are like, if you need anything, let me know.
Sure.
But you text them and you don't hear anything.
Of course.
But yeah, I had my my 5 friends who I could really count on, and every day they were just, hey man, you need anything?
Yeah.
Like a genuine, hey man, you need anything? And I knew that if I was like, I could ask them the craziest of asks.
Yeah.
And they'd be there for
And
me.
they'd still do it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So how did your high school career end up? What did you end up doing? Did you end up finishing it from the hospital? Were you able to participate in any in-person things? What did you do?
So I went to like all the prom and homecoming, but
Okay.
my last actual assignment was first semester of junior year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they graduated me. They told me like, just focus on your health, because at that point, there's a lot of I don't knows in the air.
Sure.
And like, we truly didn't know the outcome of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So But
okay, well, you've had a few setbacks since then. You've had a couple things go on with your back since you've had these surgeries, since you've had things removed. What exactly? Well, maybe not exactly, but what happened there? What went on there with your back?
yeah, obviously, not to brag or anything, but big guy. With that, taking your T12, that's right in the middle of your spine. So those are some of your biggest vertebrae.
Okay.
Vertebrae. I don't know the big doctor terms,
Sure.
but big bone. When they take that out and they put your cage inside, the spine above and the spine below the cage, obviously there's room for putting the screws into the bone, right? And offering like stability. There's no stability where the cage is at, obviously, because they can't drill into the cage with the screws.
Sure.
So there's about 3 to 4 inches of titanium that the best way my doctor described it is like if you get a paper clip and you just, keep bending, bending, eventually it's going to break.
Sure.
And you would think like, 1/4-inch titanium, that shouldn't break. But had some micro movements, and micro movements over a year and a half, that's a lot of moving. And I was actually out of the state and felt a big pop, and was rolling out of bed and it's foreign, you don't really know what happened. And eventually I stood up and sharp pain goes down the leg.
Sure.
And mine goes to worse. It's like, oh no, it's back.
Yeah.
No, but luckily called my doctor, and the pop was a very reassuring thing for my oncologist. He's like, obviously, tumors don't pop.
Right.
So I fly back. I get off the plane, go straight to the hospital, and they do an x-ray. Had a rod broke. And
okay.
Kind of looks like a collarbone when that mountain break happens and it's overlapping each other. Yeah. And so they do that, they look at you, hey, you got to have surgery. Like, you can't just be walking around with this. And so next couple weeks go by, I'm doing CTs. Hey, you got 2 rods broke, actually. Like, x-rays showed.
Oh, wow.
X-rays showed a clean break. Obviously, it's pretty obvious that it's overlapping each other. Shouldn't be doing that. The CT looked like a hairline fracture.
Okay.
So it was broke, but it didn't shift. It was still standing on top of each other. I go in for my surgery, and I guess my surgeon came out to the waiting room, talked to my parents, and go, hey, surgery's going great. About halfway through, we're putting in those new rods. We do just want to let you know, we saw the broken ones, like the 2 on top.
Okay.
We go to take the 3rd one out, just falls apart in my spine.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It just not in like pieces or anything, but they go to grab it and only the like bottom half came up. So 3 out of my 4 rods were broke. I was just walking on 1 rod, which is
holy cow, that's insane.
Yeah. And then year and a half later, same thing happened. So
it's happened twice.
Yep. Yeah. First time I was rolling out of bed. Second time I was rolling into bed and felt the same pop. The second time I was pretty mellow about it, because you kind of know what happened. And I just remember calling my mom upstairs and, hey, I think I broke a rod again. And she was like, what? I was like, yeah, I think we need to go to the hospital. Sure enough,
oh my goodness.
Go get the x-ray done, same thing. And same thing, 3 rods broke.
How much of a recovery is it when they go in there and then fix all that though?
So, obviously the first one's the hardest. You don't know what to expect.
Okay.
I was in the hospital for 19 days. Obviously should have been shorter. They actually told me 7 to 12 days, but should have been way shorter. But, with the spinal meningitis and the infection and whatnot, and relearning how to walk obviously took longer. The second time I got rods put in, I was out of the hospital in 3 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The hardest part really was getting used to the, when they cut through the same spot, there's a lot of like scar tissue.
Sure,
and
sure.
Yeah, that's kind of weird to get used to.
I'm sure that it is. So now, do you have to go in? Do you have to be retested? Do you have to be rechecked? What is the situation now as far as everything back there, are you having to go in and be retested consistently?
So for the tumor, the first 5 years, the first year it's every 3 months, second year it's every 4 months, third year every 4 months, and then the fourth and fifth year it's every 6 months. And I actually just hit 3.5 years, and so my next appointment will be 4 years, which is here in March. So it's coming up pretty quick.
Okay.
It takes forever, but then you get to that date and you're like, oh man, it's already been 4 years.
Yeah.
But then after that 5-year mark, you're kind of, in their words, in the clear.
Okay.
But really the main thing that I'm worrying about is just these rods breaking, man. Like,
well, sure.
yeah. But the oncology team at Children's in Aurora, Colorado, I can't be happier with my team. They have treated me so well, and any doubts that I have or any questions that I have, there's always reassurance, and always, you hear all these horror stories about being in the hospital and being treated badly. Like, I can't give enough praise.
That's
They're
amazing.
a great team. But for the rod aspect, I get checked every 6 months.
Okay.
I get, I go in there for more a physical evaluation because they don't want to give me too many x-rays, too many MRIs and whatnot because of radiation. I've already had enough. So then, they'll check and make sure that what they're feeling is okay. And then if they feel it necessary, they'll give me an x-ray. But my last appointment was about a month ago, and everything seems to be going good because I forgot to mention it, but these last 2 surgeries, they actually moved my bottom ribs. So they're connected to they fused them to the top of my spine and the bottom of my spine. They took the ribs that still have vascularity in them.
Okay.
So they're still being fed blood.
Sure.
And those are I kind of have like 3 spines per se.
You're kind of bionic.
Yeah, man. And human Terminator, I guess.
You totally are.
Yeah.
Jackson, like I said at the top of the show, you were earlier this year invited down to be involved with the Colorado Avalanche, who, like you said, is your favorite team. This is back in November in the Avs Hockey Fight Cancer Night.
Yeah.
You initially didn't want to be involved with it. I talked to you. You and I had a conversation. Why didn't you want to be involved in it?
I don't want what I went through to be how people view me as.
Sure.
Obviously I can't avoid it. It's a big part of my life.
Yeah.
When people meet me, I don't want them to think like, that's the kid that went through X, Y, and Z.
Don't want to be the different kid, the kid that stands out. Of course. Yeah. Who does?
You obviously want to stand out for different reasons.
Yeah.
Not because of what you went through.
Yeah.
But you mentioned that we had a conversation, and actually you helped me realize, some people need to hear the story, and some people need to know that, stuff happens.
No, you're right. You're right.
You can get through it.
And you can get through it. And I think that was the big part. And you and I, you mentioned that. You and I had that conversation. I was like, Jackson, I totally get it. But man, your story, dude, there is a kid out there somewhere right now going through the same thing, going, I don't have a shot. Oh, wait, he did it? Oh, yeah, maybe I can do this.
Yeah.
Okay, you ended up being involved. You ended up going down, being involved with the Avalanche. I'm a huge Avs fan.
Yep.
You're a huge Avs fan.
Yep.
Tell me about the experience. What was it like? Who did you meet? How are the players? I got to hear it.
Well, first you walk in and the arena's empty. So it's 10 in the morning. We got invited to morning skate. Arena is empty. And all you hear is, pucks banging against the boards, pucks hitting the pipe, and coaches yelling at the players, and the players yelling at the play. And like, when I played hockey, that's normal. But when they play hockey, like, that's their life.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so cool seeing people so into what they do and loving the sport. And, that's how I felt when I played.
Sure.
This is the level that I wanted to play at. And like, you kind of feel at home. Like you're just back.
Right. You're back in your comfort zone. Yeah.
So, we watch morning skate. And what's funny is that I didn't take videos. I took voice memos just because I can't remember the last time that I just got to hear
that sound.
A practice.
Yeah.
Like, it was great. And especially, how many people get to go watch a pro morning skate?
Sure.
Yeah. So we watch morning skate, and we wait for the players to, do their thing, shower and whatnot.
Yeah.
And we're waiting in the main lobby, and they just start walking out one by one. So first one is like Ross Colton.
Okay.
Like, he comes out, just, super charismatic guy. He shakes everyone's hand, like, make sure that everyone's having a great day, whatnot, just says hi. And then, Parker Kelly and Blackwood came out, Wedgwood came out, and they're just also humble. Like,
yeah,
if I were to put them on the street, you would never know that, like, they're just another guy.
they're small town guys for the most part.
They just want to have fun.
Yeah.
Like, they don't wear flashy jewelry. They don't wear like the super expensive clothes. Well, like, Kale comes out, he's talking to me, and I'm starstruck, obviously. I got my hand out, I'm shaking. We're just chatting it up. He's chatting it up with everyone. All of a sudden I feel a hand on my shoulder. And I'm like, oh, like, look up, it's Nathan McKinnon.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, hey, I'm Nate. Oh, yeah, I know.
I kind of know who you are.
I know exactly who you are. Like, and let me tell you, Nate, he is, he doesn't smile much.
No, no, he's pretty serious about his craft. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, but, super nice guy, says hi to everyone, whatnot.
Sure.
Comes back and he goes, hey, man, I gotta get going. I got a game later tonight. I gotta go eat, take a nap. Like,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, go do what you gotta
You're fine.
do. Yeah. Go do what you gotta do, man. I want to see you win. But, just all such cool people. But honestly, the one that really stuck was, they all really stuck. Don't get me wrong.
Right. I
Love them
understand.
all.
Yeah.
We go into the locker room.
Okay.
Bednar's in there.
Yeah.
And Nate just comes in, and Brock Nelson come in, and they're chatting it up. And all of a sudden, the Swedish legend,
Gabriel
Landeskog,
yes,
3 years away,
captain,
knee injury. Like, all of us at Hockey Fights Cancer Night, we're kind of resonating through this guy.
Sure.
We don't get to play anymore.
No. And he had to be out for so long, and he had to overcome so much. Yes.
Yeah. Like 1,000 days.
No, that's your guy.
And, we're all kind of living through him.
Yes.
Like, hey, come back. Like, do what you got to do. And he comes in, and one of the patients brought their kids, and the kid, young enough to not know who this guy is,
sure,
runs up, gives him a little coloring page, and it's like, hey, like, I made this for you. And he just goes into dad mode. He's just a normal guy.
Oh, wow.
Like, gets down on his knees, kind of scared me a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't want him to get hurt.
Yeah.
Gets down on his knees, and he's like, thank you. Like, I'll put this on my refrigerator. And like, he had at least 5 to 10 minute conversation with each person in the room.
Oh my goodness.
And, obviously I can't remember word for word the conversation, but you kind of black out during it.
Of course.
But, I kind of told him, like, we're all kind of living through you, dude.
Yes.
Like, I know you don't know me. Like, we all know you, but,
right.
You went through this crazy injury who, at the time, no one has ever come back.
No.
Not even, who's the basketball player that, it was one of the Ball brothers.
Oh, yeah. Alonzo Ball.
Yeah. Had the same injury. Yep. And it's like, okay, like, hockey, what are the chances that you come back? Like, and like, we're telling him, like, we're kind of living through you. And, you can kind of tell he's like, wow, like, it means a lot.
Sure.
But yeah, Landy's just one of those, you put him on the side of the road and he's just walking down the street. And if he wasn't, you kind of, you can see Landy and you're like, oh, it's Landy.
Yeah.
But like, if no one knew the sport of hockey,
average guy,
just an average guy, like, just normal. And like, I love that about sports.
Of course.
Yeah. Especially hockey.
Oh yeah. Because they're not these giant guys. They're not these 6'8" guys. It's very, very different. Some of them. Yeah. It's not like you would always pick them out of a lineup though. Some of them you're just like, man, that just looks like an accountant down the street. Like how in the world is he playing maybe the most athletic sport on the planet?
Yeah. And
you just wouldn't know it. That had to be absolutely insane.
Oh yeah.
To meet him
in the locker room,
and for him to be that. They always say you don't want to meet your heroes until you meet your hero, and he actually kind of raises your level of what you thought of him to begin with.
Yeah. So cool.
That's absolutely insane. So you go to the game. They played the Islanders.
Yep.
And you get honored before the game.
Yep.
You get to go up in the booth. You were actually on the broadcast live doing some speaking on the mic. Jackson, what in the world? Was it overwhelming?
Yeah. I mean, my commentator career is not long at all. Like,
Hey, I saw it. It was pretty good. You did a pretty good job.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I was shaking the whole time.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Great view, great office.
Of course.
Yeah. You see everything.
Yeah.
And, you get up there and they tell you, kind of like the same setup we got now, press the button when you're ready to talk.
Okay.
And it'll tell you on the little screen who's talking. And you got a guy in your ear like, hey, broadcasting 5, 4, 3,
Sure.
It's pretty overwhelming. I can't,
I
props to these guys. Like,
the job they do. And it's funny because you hear the fans, they're like, oh, he got so-and-so's name right. Do you realize the overwhelming amount of knowledge and information that they have to have constantly?
Oh, dude, the papers laying on the table with all the names, all the stats. And then you got guys walking up behind them. Hey, say this, like, this stat just happened. Make sure you mention it. Like, they got a lot.
And to pronounce the names in hockey, like, come on.
Yeah, there's a lot of foreigners.
There's a lot of names that I still don't know how to say, and they've been on our hometown team now for years, and I'm still like, wait, how do you say that?
I know. I still get choked up on the Chushkin. Like,
oh, for sure, for sure. Wow. Okay, Jackson, I just think that your story is so unique. There's so many people that need to hear that story, and like I said, somewhere out there's a person going through something similar to what you have beaten. And your story, I think, can literally give them hope.
Yeah.
But I've got to cut through some of that. We've got to get past that just a little bit. I'm going to come back to it, but I'm going to get back. Jackson, our Colorado Avalanche should win the Stanley Cup this year, and I'm getting real concerned because as of late they're struggling, and I'm getting worried and I'm freaking out.
Okay. I don't know about you, but I'm superstitious. I was cutting it close.
I'm a little stitious.
I was cutting.
I'm
it
not
close.
super.
We gotta watch what we say now.
Okay.
I don't know.
Jackson, they're really good.
They're really good. Setting records 40-2 in the
sea.
Like halfway through the sea.
Yes.
No one
does that.
No. Especially in today's day and age in sports, everyone is at the top of their game.
Right.
We are in the time right now where it's only gonna get better. But we're watching the best sports we have ever seen.
Oh yeah.
The best of the best. No matter what sport you watch.
Sure.
But you're going to have your off games.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can't be mad at,
it's such a long season.
Yeah. Such a long season. And, as of right now, we are in such a good spot to figure out our team, really. Yeah. And, I know that sounds weird, but.
No, but you're right.
Yeah. I'm sure Bednar's trying to figure out, the lines that he wants for playoffs.
Yes.
And who works with who. And, if a player goes out here, maybe he's switching like, hey, if, I'm not trying to put any bad juju in the air, but like if so-and-so gets hurt and if I move so-and-so into this position, how is he going to work with this line? And, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And that's probably, when we have our off nights, he might just be figuring stuff out.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Who are you looking at in the NHL? Who is the team that you're like, that's the concern. That's the worry. That's the team we've got to somehow find a way to beat. I think I know who you're going to say, but I want to know what you're going to say.
Yeah, I mean, the kryptonite for the past 3 years have been Dallas.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Dallas is good.
Really good. Yeah.
There's a lot of like underdogs this year. Like,
no, you're right.
Like Red Wings are all of a sudden pretty good.
All of a sudden pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, really just Dallas, to be honest.
Dallas is scary.
Yeah.
And, like you said, there's a couple teams out there that you look at and you're like, well, maybe they're not scary, but you get in a playoff series, it starts to drag on, it starts to get scary.
Yep.
If you're playing Vegas, you're probably going to come out on top. It's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a struggle. And there are no gimmies in the NHL. You just don't have that. So, all right, I'm going to worry about Dallas. I'm already annoyed with them anyways, but that's going to be my big concern. All right. Jackson, I got to be honest with you. I really think you need to be a spokesperson and you need to be out telling your story somewhere. And I think that if anyone out there is listening to this and you hear Jackson's story and you want to book him, you reach out to the Daly Dose because I will help you book him. But I'm going to be, very, very transparent. When Jackson and I started hanging out, Jackson is a very close friend of my son, and you and I spoke, and you said, "Why me? Why did I have to go through this?"
Yeah.
And I told you then, and I believe that as much now as I told you then. I believe it is so you can help other people go through what you've gone through, and I still absolutely believe that. But I think you are the perfect person to tell your story, and I think that there are a lot of people that will benefit from hearing your story. I want to thank you for sharing this story because I know, like I said, you're not the person that wants to get on here. You don't want to talk about yourself. You don't want to come on and be, hey, here's my story, and this is what makes me a little bit different. I get that, and I appreciate that, and I thank you for coming on the dose. But I think there are so many people that benefit from hearing what you went through and seeing it didn't take you. It didn't overcome you. Yes, it's a struggle, but you are beating it, and you're still moving on, and you're still moving onward and upward. And that is what is so encouraging about it. That's why I wanted to have you on the dose. I think people need to hear that story. And like I said, I think your story needs to be told. I think we need to get this out because there are too many people going through similar circumstances that need to hear, hey, you can do this. You can get through this. You can beat this.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I think the biggest thing that I've learned is the one thing I always told myself every day. I was getting sick every day. I was in pain every day. I would have to watch other people succeed, which I'm happy for them.
Sure.
But you start to feel behind.
Yeah.
And like, what do I do?
Yeah.
The one thing I always told myself was it can always be worse.
No, you're right.
I'm above ground.
Yep.
Sun comes up every day.
Yeah.
And even with, circumstances at home or at work or, just daily life, it can always be worse.
No, and having that gratitude for where you're at is always going to change your outlook on what all is going on in life. Everything. If you can wake up that day and say, "Hey, I've got this, I've got that," it's going to change your outlook on life, and that's a great point. All right, Jackson, going into this interview, you had said, "Do you want me to look over the questions?" And I said, "No, I don't want you to look over the questions. I want this just to be off the cuff. I just want you to speak from the heart and not have to rehearse anything. I just want you to come on it and speak." Jackson, it is January. It is mid-January. We're just, the NFL conference title games have just taken place. The Super Bowl is set, but I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm going to give you a question that I didn't know I was going to give you. Jackson, who's going to the Stanley Cup Final?
Ooh.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah. No, that's not where you thought I was going to go, but that's where I'm going. You're going to have to pick. And I know, like I said, that's 4 or 5 months out. Who is going to the Stanley Cup Final? I need your pick. And I'm going to give you this caveat because you're thinking to yourself, what if I jinx my hometown team?
Yeah.
If that's the case, please don't waste your pick on a hockey game. Jackson, make your pick on the lotto, because if you can control things with your voice, put things out into the universe that you're going to win the lottery someday, because that would be way more valuable. Who is going to the Stanley Cup Final?
I don't like this, man. I don't like this.
I love it.
All right, Avs are going.
Thank you.
Yeah, Avs are going.
Okay. Who's coming out of the East?
I don't know, man.
We're going to get by Dallas.
Yeah.
We're going to somehow get by Dallas. Maybe we'll avoid Dallas. I don't know, but we're going to get by Dallas. Who's coming out of the East? I know you've got a team. I know you have. It's not the defending champs. The defending champs are struggling. Maybe they pull things together and they're going to rally. But I don't like how they're looking right now. But who's coming out of the East? You got to give me one team.
Carolina's not playing bad.
That's who I thought you were going to say.
They're not playing bad. I would say that it's too early.
Yeah, it is. That's why I'm putting you on the spot.
Because the thing is everyone's playing good.
Right. No, there are some teams out there doing really, really good stuff. And we're getting ready to go into this weird Olympic break that we don't usually have. And that's going to kind of change some things this year.
Oh, actually, another team that I could bring up that I'm kind of worried about is Edmonton. They're hungry.
No, you're right.
They're hungry.
Yeah.
I think,
and talented.
Yeah, I think McDavid is.
Yeah. And he's got some help. It's not just him.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Carolina.
Okay. Colorado, Carolina.
Yeah.
In the final.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Don't say you didn't know. Jackson, I want to genuinely say thank you for coming in and stopping by the Dose.
Of course.
Telling your story. I think your story is absolutely incredible. And like I said, I think people need to hear it. That's a story that that shows being that hockey player, having that hockey tough. Jackson, you've been through it. That's why you're the kid that you are. I genuinely appreciate you coming on and thank you for stopping by the Dose. You know you are welcome to come back and talk hockey anytime. You know you're always welcome here at the Dose, but thank you. I genuinely appreciate you coming in.
Thank you, sir. I always appreciate it.